In a quiet village filled with jasmine flowers, coconut trees, and the soft ringing of temple bells, lived two very different friends, Kavi the cat and Kutty the dog. Kavi was calm, careful, and always liked to stay neat and graceful. Kutty, on the other paw, was playful, messy, and full of noisy excitement. They didn't always agree, but they were the best of friends. One sunny afternoon, while chasing a drifting lotus petal, they wandered beyond the village pond and into a place they had never seen before. There, tucked beneath a banyan tree, stood an old archway wrapped in vines. Behind it, a glimmer, a gentle sparkle, a maze made entirely of mirrors. It was the mirror maze, a forgotten part of the forest whispered about in stories, a place where things were never quite what they seemed. As Kavi and Kutty stepped in, the maze shimmered to life. All around them were reflections, tall mirrors, tiny mirrors, mirrors that made them look wobbly, and some that didn't reflect anything at all. At first, it was fun. They chased their reflections, spun in circles, and giggled in their own way. But soon, something changed. In one mirror, Kavi saw a version of herself that was bold and loud, with messy fur and fearless eyes. And Kutty saw a reflection where he was silent, careful, and wise, with his ears perfectly clean and tail gently tucked. They blinked. Was it really them? No matter where they turned, the maze showed them different versions of themselves. Braver, quieter, sillier, kinder, even stranger. It was confusing and a little scary. And then the paths began to change. The mirrors shifted silently, like waves of glass. The paths twisted. Kavi couldn't see Kutty. Kutty couldn't hear Kavi. They were all alone, surrounded only by versions of themselves. Kavi wanted to call out but realized her reflection was showing fear. So she stood tall instead. She took a step forward slowly, quietly, just like Kutty would. Kutty, though scared, remembered how Kavi always walked with grace. So he stopped jumping and tiptoed just like her. Without knowing it, both were trying to be a little more like the other. That's when the mirrors began to glow. With every step of understanding, the maze changed. It wasn't about escaping anymore, it was about seeing the world through each other's eyes. Kavi walked through a mirror and found herself on the other side of the maze. Kutty followed the quietest path and found himself near a glowing arch. And finally, in the very center, they saw each other. There were no more mirrors, only the truth of their friendship. They hadn't needed to change who they were, but they had learned something important. Sometimes, to find your way forward, you must try to see through your friend's heart. With a flicker of golden light, the maze faded. Back in the village, everything looked the same, but something inside Kavi and Kutty had changed. They were still different, but they understood each other better than ever before. And from that day on, whenever they played or walked together, they did so with a little more patience and a little more love. Because sometimes, the greatest adventure isn't just about where you go. It's about learning who you are, and who your friends are too. And if you ever find a path made of mirrors, look closely. You might just discover something magical about yourself and the ones you love.